Hello and welcome back to my channel and to the fourth day of my Bavarian trip. And today I'm going to visit a town that I've been wanting to visit for over 40 years. And that's the town of Fussen in southern Bavaria. Not only is it an historic old town, but it's also the filming location, or one of the filming locations, which featured in the 1963 film The Great Escape. The railway scenes, the town scenes, the river scenes were all filmed in Fussen. So today I'm going to take a walk around the town, have a look at some of the historic sites and landmarks on the way up to the castle, and discover as many of those locations as I can. So come with me on my Great Escape adventure as I explore Fussen in southern Bavaria. Well, I've made it to Fussen on the train from Bucklow, €31.60 for a return ticket. Didn't think that was too bad. Not that I travel much by train, but this is absolutely delightful here. And of course I arrived at the main station, and that was one of the filming locations for The Great Escape. It's where the Gestapo officer was shot. He recognised Bartlett and MacDonald escaping, and another character, Ashley Pitt, played by David McCullum, well, he shot him. And then Ashley Pitt was then shot as well. But they all filmed that down at the railway station. Absolutely beautiful down there. And full of tourists as well. Because this is the gateway into Austria and to the famous Neuschwanstein Castle, which is King Ludwig's fairy tale castle. It's the one which the Disney castle is based, I think. But it's one of these days I will get down there. I wanted to do it on this trip, but the costs of staying in Fussen were prohibitive for me at the moment. I just couldn't afford what was effectively €200 a night or thereabouts, just out of my price range. So I'm going to visit other places in the area, in other parts of Bavaria, and hopefully come back to Fussen on another time and do Neuschwanstein Castle. Just on the left here is the cemetery of St. Sebastian, the Alter Friedhof, the old cemetery. I was first used the cemetery back in 1528, and it was closed for burials back in 1934. But they reopened it again back in 1986. And just walking in, quite an impressive array of stones in here. Probably more impressive, I think, than the cemetery in Kempton yesterday. Quite magnificent. It's the thing about German cemeteries. The gravestones here are so much more elaborate than those you get in England. Okay, you find the odd Victorian cemetery with some elaborate gravestones, but here they're consistently elaborate, almost every single grave. But they're family plots, they're always family plots. And so I guess they did spend the money on elaborate monuments for the family and for other generations to come. Absolutely beautiful walking around here. But let's walk back anyway. Reading some of the gravestones, there's quite a few local people of note in here. People who have achieved things in their life. which is nice to see on a gravestone. But the cemetery here is next to St. Stephen's Monastery. There's been a monastery here since the 1600s, and it's quite a beautiful building. The gates to the monastery represent the end of the route of the romantic road. Now this is a roadway which starts, well, it's a route which starts in Würzburg, up in northern Bavaria, and it travels all the way through the old historic medieval towns of Bavaria to reach Fussen and the gates, which are just behind me. There we go. It's 460 kilometers long, and the route just goes through some of the most beautiful countryside and the beautiful historic towns of Bavaria. And it's a route which I want to actually go on one of these days, but it'll take me longer than a couple of weeks to do that. So perhaps that's something to look forward to in later years. But now let's head on into the town and try and discover some more about Fussen's history and some more filming locations for The Great Escape. Around down by the river. Absolutely beautiful down there. I know it's a cloudy, overcast day, but still very pleasant. As long as the rain holds off, I think we'll be okay. It's lovely to hear the bells ringing. Must be the monastery or the castle. Bells up there. God, I wonder why they're ringing. Lovely to hear them, absolutely lovely to hear them. But just across the bridge here is another of the locations for The Great Escape. This is the cafe scene where Sedgwick, played by James Coburn, was sitting down reading the newspaper, and the bartender called him over for a telephone call. And then a car drew up and shot the German officers that were sitting here having their coffee and schnapps. I thought this was a real cafe, but for the magic of Hollywood and television and film production, it isn't. The Café Suzette doesn't exist, but James Coburn was sitting just where I am now, and you can still make out the views that were in the film with the bridge behind me over the River Lech. And it's interesting actually, because there's another scene filmed here as well, just on the other side of the bridge, where Danny and Willie, two of the escapees, were escaping by boat on the river. And that was filmed here in Fussen, underneath this bridge. And yeah, it's absolutely lovely here. But there's a couple more filming locations in the town centre. So let's head up there and take a look at those. And take a look at the Brotmarkt and a statue to a famous loot maker, and then see if we can go into the castle. I wonder if it's open today. We'll soon find out as we head into town here in Fussen. It was so enjoyable seeing that filming location. Growing up in the 1970s, The Great Escape was one of the big films that was shown on television at Christmas. And ever since watching that film and looking at the story of the escape from Sargon of 76 prisoners of war, it really got me interested in history. And I've always wanted to visit the sites related to some of these great escapes from prisoners of war camps, Colditz and Sargon and all the others. and to come to the filming locations as well, because so many of these stories were turned into films, and it was lovely to see that. And finally, after 40 odd years, it was worth the wait. Very exciting to see that, and still recognisable after all these years. What, 60 odd years ago that film was made, and it's still one of the best war stories depicted on film. We're heading up now towards the Brotmarkt, or the bread market, and to another one of the filming locations. And oh wow, what a beautiful building. Absolutely beautiful. Very striking paintwork on the outside. A beautiful, beautiful building. But it turns out those bells that I heard were for St. Magnus Basilica, and there's a museum in there as well. So if the rain holds off, it's splitting a bit at the moment, then I'll go inside there and take a look. I probably will anyway. But I'll head up to the Brotmarkt and do some more outside things before I do get beaten by the weather. Oh, I had to put my umbrella up. It's starting to rain now. Oh, that's not good. Very difficult to film and hold an umbrella at the same time. But this is the Brotmarkt. This is where there was another scene filmed in The Great Escape. This is the scene where Bartlett and MacDonald, or played by the actors Richard Attenborough and Gordon Jackson, were escaping on a bus in the old market square. They filmed it by this statue here. This is where the police officer, or plainclothes policeman, said good luck to MacDonald, and he replied, "Thank you very much." Started a chase sequence around the town. They filmed it here. It's lovely. But this is a beautiful little statue here. It's called the Lautenmacherbrunnen, or Loot Maker Fountain. And try to get the picture in there. There we go. You can see him there. And his name is Caspar Tiefenbrucker, and he was born here in Fussen in 1514, and he died aged 66 in 1570. And he was a famous lute maker. He made some of the finest lutes made in Germany at that period. And absolutely lovely to see that statue. I do love seeing statues which depicts local people, especially someone as talented as Caspar. But going back to The Great Escape, once MacDonald and Bartlett had done a runner, Bartlett was soon caught. And he was caught here on the corner just at the top of the Brotmarkt. Just on this corner here. And there's a scene in the film which looks down the road to my right. There we go. And this is where he was caught. So he didn't actually run very far, but in the film he did, because nothing in film and television is actually real. We have a chase sequence around a town and virtually come back to the same location, just with a change of angle and a change of camera direction. But this is another location here for The Great Escape. So what's that? 1, 2 with the river, 3 of the Café Suzette, Brotmarkt here. This is the 5th location. And all the locations for The Great Escape here in Fussen. But now let's explore the town further and see what else we can discover here in Fussen. I've been wandering around for a while, hoping that the rain will stop, and it's not. Oh, it's putting a real dampener on my holiday. But never mind, I guess that's what happens when you go away on holiday. You have to have nice weather with the not so nice. But I did enjoy our last 2 sunny days, so I guess we're due for a rainy period. But never mind, never mind. At least it's not chucking it down like it was in Trieste a few years ago. But I did find a nice little cafe bar for some lunch. One of these theme pubs, American sort of diner type theme pubs. Really rather fun in there actually. The decor in there was rather interesting as well. But I'm just hoping that the rain will stop. I can enjoy some more outdoor activities here in Fussen. But I'm going to head up to the Basilica and the museum and see what's happening in there, see what they got on offer, see what's on display, I should say, and then hopefully we'll give the weather a chance to clear. So let's go inside and take a look. Wow, it's absolutely beautiful in there. Absolutely fantastic interior architecture in the Basilica. Built between 1701 and 1717. And the architect was a man called Johann Jakob Hertkommer. Must be one of his finest works. Absolutely beautiful. And such an impressive bell tower as well. Yeah, absolutely lovely. I know I keep saying lovely, but it is. Despite the weather, it is lovely here. And I have to return because there's so much more that I want to see. But the museum must be on the other side, which I passed earlier in the video. So I walk round to where I was earlier, opposite the Brotmarkt, and try and find the museum. I'm hoping that this weather's going to stop raining. Oh, this is so difficult to film and bring you a nice video from Fussen holding an umbrella, but I guess sometimes we have to film in the rain. But it's really difficult trying to hold an umbrella and the camera in the other hand. I'm getting some very strange looks from the people I'm walking past, but never mind. It's all, I suppose, in the life of a YouTuber to have the rough with the smooth, the good weather with the rain. And here we are, here's the museum. Just wander in and take a look. Wow, this looks absolutely wonderful. Beautiful courtyard, fantastic architecture. And those entrance gates I walked through, quite an impressive wooden door. But sounds there's an orchestra rehearsing as well. Let's go inside the museum and take a look. At least it gets me out of the rain for a little while. Wow, what a fantastic museum that was. Did enjoy walking around the galleries. Lovely gallery in there dedicated to St. Magnus, the patron saint from Fussen. He was famous for slaying dragons, apparently. So there we go. And a lovely exhibition in there to musical instrument making and to the lute. And obviously violins and double basses. Absolutely lovely to see that, because Fussen is an area for the manufacture of musical instruments. And they also had an organ in there as well, and a display for weaving of rope and yarn. That's really interesting to see that. And all the all the displays were all in German. And of course, my German isn't good enough to read all the displays, which is a shame. Maybe one day it will be, but not today. I can make out some of it, but not enough for my liking. But there we go. But absolutely beautiful to walk around. It's such a fantastic building, especially the ceiling in the library and the old cloisters and the chapel. Absolutely fascinating to see that. It really is. So many museums around the world throw up so many surprises, and this one certainly has as well. I have to return here on another visit. But it stopped raining. I wonder how long for. We'll soon find out, I suppose. I've got a few hours left here in Fussen to walk around. So let's head up to the castle and see what we can discover up there. It's only a short walk up to the castle from the museum. It's actually next to the entrance is next to the Basilica, which I was just a little while ago. As you look up to the castle, just walking up the hill here, it really is quite imposing, quite magnificent, and got a sort of different sort of entrance into Welsh medieval or English medieval castles. But the white walls and the white turrets really are absolutely wonderful. Must have been quite a structure in the Middle Ages. Still very impressive today. And it's still not raining, which is a bonus. So hopefully the weather will continue to improve and can make the most of the weather. But the scenery from up here, looking across towards the Alps, really is magnificent. Hopefully on my return visit, in some point in the future, because I will come back to Fussen. This is a town that I want to explore a lot more, but to stay in this area really is rather expensive, especially for me at the moment. But hopefully one day I'll do my research and I'll be able to come back and look around a bit more. Wow, what a fantastic sight that greets me as I walk through here. The view really is quite magnificent. What a building. And the artwork on this side as well. Absolutely brilliant. Wow. It really does say German castle, because it's so typical of the Bavarian sort of style. Absolutely fantastic. You just don't get castles like this in England, painted on the outside. Really is magnificent. So here are some pictures of the courtyard here at the castle. Wonderful, just walking around the outside of this courtyard. The wall murals on the outside really are a work of art. Absolutely fantastic. But now let's go inside the castle and see what's on display in the galleries. did enjoy looking around the inside of the castle. So many rooms up there, and so much space as well. €9 for a combi cart. It's a combination ticket for the museum and to get into the castle as well. Although to walk around this part is free. So if you want to come here and just walk around the courtyard, you can actually do so, because there's only the entrance fee into the galleries, which is quite reasonable. It's quite a beautiful castle, it really is. It's former summer residence of the Bishop of Augsburg. So, and it's starting to rain. I'm not having much luck with the weather, I'm really not. But I guess that's part of going away. I can't control the weather. But this is where I end this video. So thank you so much for watching, and join me tomorrow as I explore another town here in Bavaria. Thanks for watching.